Hello, welcome to Savoy Home Base Older Toddler. My name is Miss Cindy Renteria, and thank you for having me again. And thank you for joining me again in this activity. Can you guys believe that we are already, that's it. April is gone. We are starting off in the month of May. We're very excited. We've seen you guys progress. We've seen the little ones progress. We've all been growing together, and it makes us really, really happy that you guys are enjoying. We like that you guys participating in our parent conference. You know, you guys have been amazing through the school year. Besides having this COVID, besides going through Zoom, we've all learned this new technology. We're learning together, growing together, and it makes me very happy that you guys are continuingly watching our videos, giving us feedback, or having your little ones tell us about the video, or they're learning and they're trying to mimic everything we do, which is great. Remember, moms and dads, that this video is for our older toddlers. Many of our older toddlers are already transitioning to the Head Start program. The activities that we're doing now is just to help our children have an ease of a transition. We want them to transition into Head Start or into their significant other pre-K school, and we want them to be an ease for them. So that's why these couple of weeks activities have been focusing more on our children already participating in a Head Start program, which is going to help them, and it's going to help yourself too, to give you tips, to give you guidance. And because this transition is not just for our little one, this transition is for all of us. It's like when anyone has a new morning routine, or a family member gets a job, or they change a school grade, we all go into transition together. So I'm going to go ahead and start with our greeting song. Thank you once again for being here. My name is Miss Cindy Renteria. I'm more than happy to be here with you guys. This is our Savoy Home Base Older Toddler video. Miss Cindy's here today. Miss Cindy's here today. Clap, clap, clap. Miss Cindy's here today. And of course, a lot of our little ones already know this song and sing it happily. We want to include, like I normally say weekly, we want to include our little one's full name. And if possible, we can add their last name. My last name is Miss Cindy Renteria. So we would like for you, mom and dad, to sing Miss Cindy Renteria, Miss Cindy Renteria, clap, clap, clap. Miss Cindy Renteria is here. We want our little ones to recognize their name. We want them to recognize their full name, their initial letter, their initial sound of the letter. This is what we're aiming for, especially throughout the summer. This is something we want you as parents to work with your little ones on. I normally say this. Sometimes we tend to give our little ones nicknames, our children. We want to start calling them by their full name. We want them to understand that their name is Christian or Christian, not Chris or Chrissy. We want them to be able to know when they hear their name. We want them to participate correctly in the classroom. So, of course, we want to start saying, we can say all mommy's full name, every sibling's full name, so they can get a sense of we all have a first and last name. For us as grown-ups, we already know that we have a first and last name. We need to remember our little ones are growing, and we are our children's first teachers as parents. So we want to be able to teach them that they also have a first and last name, not just mommy, or not just papi, or not just dad, or the brother. We want them to know that they have a first and last name too. And the book for the week is Five Little Ducks. This is what we have here. And this is going to be the front cover of the book, the spine of the book, and the back of the book. And it's illustrated by Carol Newsom. We want to continue to name the body parts of our books. When our little ones go into Head Start, they usually almost every day they have circle time. And the teacher will go over every body part of the book. And how exciting is it that your little one's already sitting in circle time, ready to go. And the teacher holds up the book and he knows that's the front cover, that's the spine, and that's the back of the book. So we want to, even though you feel my little one already knows this, we want to continue. Repetition is key for our older toddlers. Go ahead and start. Five little ducks went out to play over the hill, far away. Mama duck called with a quack, quack, quack. No little ducks came swimming back. Uh-oh, The little ducks are gone. Where did they go? 5 little ducks have a big surprise. Mama's birthday party, they've decided. Each little duck plays a different part, so with a wink and a nod, they all depart. They're doing a surprise party for Mommy. Susie begins the search for guests. Turtles and frogs are on her list. She hears her mama's familiar quack, but she's not ready to swing back. Douglas dives deep into the lake, gathering algae for Mama's cake. He hears his mama's familiar quack, but he's not ready to swim back. Patricia knows she must be swift as she paints her mama's perfect gift. She hears her mama's quack, but she's not ready to go back. Look at that beautiful painting. Beautiful, beautiful painting. Barnaby blows up party balloons and perfect his rendition of birthday tunes. He hears his mama's familiar quack, but he's not ready to go back. Fiona knows how to decorate. Lilies and daisies make the party great. She hears her mama's familiar quack, but she's not ready to go back. Mama Duck was in a great dismay. She knew her duckling wouldn't disobey. She called again with a great big quack. The whole pond, look at all of them, came swimming back. Isn't that a beautiful surprise for Mommy? 5 little ducks set out that day to plan a party for Mama's birthday. Mama kissed her ducklings 1 through 5 and then thanked them for her big surprise. She gave 1 kissy, 2 kissy, 3 kiss, 4 kiss, 5 kisses to say thank you to her 5 little ducks. The end. You guys enjoyed this story? Miss Cindy did too. It's a very, very nice story. This is what we have for this week's Moms and Dads. You guys received in your packet. It says Sink or Float. Sink or Float, Predicting and Exploring Physical Properties. This is actually the handout that you guys received. And you have it in your packet. Basically, what we have here is predicting and exploring physical properties. What we want our little ones to do, and for us as well, is... you're going to help your child, like I have here. I wrote down the word float and the word sink. This is what we want to do in a piece of paper if possible. Write the word float and then sink. If your little one can help you, or you can do hand over hand to be able to write it, that'll be great. So what we want to do is fill up our tub with enough water so the objects can actually float. I'll demonstrate you here. I was able to get a little container with some water and some little items. What we want to do is going to let our little ones explore and predict if they think it's going to float, stay on top of the water, or if they think they're going to sink, which go under the water. So we want to show them. I have some little items here. I have these cubes. So we want to ask them, do you think this is going to stay on top of the water or go down in the water? Let's see what they say before you actually do the activity with them. I actually have this one too. It's like a little foam. We're going to ask them, do you think it's going to stay on top of the water or it's going to go under the water? And I also have this little blue ball. And that's the same thing. We want to ask, do you think it's going to float or do you think it's going to stay up? And you're going to have them sort the things using, if they think that it's going to float, you're going to want them to put the things where it says that it's going to stay on top of the water. And you want to put the things that they feel that are going to sink on the side before we actually go. So Miss Cindy believes that, I have this here. So I feel that the blue ball is going to float. So I will put the blue ball with the float. And I feel like my blocks are not going to stay up. So So I will put my block next to my sink. So I think that my ball is going to stay on top of the water, and I feel like my block is going to go down. This is what we want to do with our little ones. We want them to put the things that they feel is going to float to next to the thing. Miss Cindy predicts that this one might float too, so I go ahead and put it here. This is what we want them to do. They're going to be predicting. This is the exploring part of this activity. Also, after she has explored the similarities and difference in the objects that sank or floated, also, this is the time to have her predict an object will it sink or float before she drops it in the water. Were her predictions correct? Did she say, oh, it's going to float and it didn't float, or it did float? Give your child words for the science concept she's learning. For example, some objects are buoyant. That means they float. For an object to be buoyant, it must weigh less than the water is floating in. So this has to be less than the water that Miss Cindy has, so in order to stay on top. If not, if it's heavy, it's going to go down. So we want to use those kind of words and vocabulary with our little ones before we do the activity. Also, so Miss Cindy's going to show you here. I have my little basket. I got this so it could be a little higher. So I have my container of water here. So we're going to try all the ones that I said that were going to float, which is this one. So Miss Cindy's working on floating. So I said that this was going to float. Do you guys think that it's going to float? So what you're going to do is you're going to let your little one just put it in the water. Do you guys see it floating around? We do. It's floating. It actually is floating. And then we have this one that I said that I think is going to sink. So what do you guys think? You guys think it's going to go down? So Miss Cindy's going to put it. Wow. No, it didn't sink. It's actually floating. You see, we're all learning. And then I have this one. Is it going to sink or is it going to float? You're going to give your child open-ended questions and you're going to ask them their prediction. And if they feel like they say it's sink and it stay floating, you can ask them why. Why do you think it's floating? And this is a really fun activity, moms and dads. If you don't want to do it, another way of you doing this is actually doing it during bathtub time when they're already in the water. And remember, be very, very mindful. Please never, never, never leave your child unsupervised during water play. We want to be there when our little ones are playing with water. Like I mentioned right now in the bathtub, even you might think it's the least inch of water, your son or daughter is still capable of drowning. So we want to be there, physically there when we do this activity with them. Or you can do it over the sink. Put a little bit of water in your sink and try to see things around your home. And this is a great way to start naming objects, naming colors. So we're working with science, we're working with math, we're recognizing colors, we're doing everything in this just one activity. Also, what's in it for us in this activity, which is cognitive, hands-on experience allow children to act and then observe the results. This helps them develop reasoning skills and practice scientific thinking. Also, sorting objects helps children recognize physical properties that cannot always be seen, like weight. Also, connecting across development, which is language, social, emotional, and motor. In language, when children explore objects with physical properties that are new to them, they may have questions. And it's building their vocabulary. Every time they're saying their question, is building and building their vocabulary. Also, social emotional. Splashing water is fun, especially now that we're getting hot, these sunny days. Of course, it's always fun to play with water. But as children get older, they will show more self-control and instead use the water for the activity. Also, in motor, pouring water from a small container to a large container is one exercise that arms and wrists and hands. Another way that you can do this is like I have here is that you can get a cup and have them pour the water in the bucket, in the container, I mean. Have them pour it in, to give them that extra exercise to make our exercise a little bit longer. Or maybe you want to do the sink and float today, and then tomorrow you want to go ahead and explore with using the cup and sink it and, pour it in because it's helping with your arm, motor skills, and everything. And then also, this is what you guys have. And this is a very great opportunity to use open-ended questions. Questions to guide your children's learning about physical properties. Why did the block float on the corridor sank? That's open-ending questions. If she says the block floated because it's blue, try to find a blue object that will sink to help her test her idea instead of telling her it's wrong. Like it says here, let's say my purple one floated. And you ask her, why did the block float? She says purple. We're going to try to get something else that is purple and that it actually sinks in so she can connect that it's not because it's the color purple, it's because of the weight. We don't want to tell our little ones, no, that's not right. We want to show them the correct way, or we want to give them the right answer. I'm excited to hear your feedback on this activity. I'm sure you guys are going to have plenty of fun. Also, what we have here for our parenting, we have exploring science, and this one's great. It goes hands in hand with our activity. You guys also received this one in your packet, and this one says tips to discover science. Exploring science, tips to discover science. This handout is really good. It actually gives you tips on how you guys can explore science and discover it. One of it is give your children chances to try out items, build things, collect things. Look at the weather and ask children to guess if it is what it is or will be happening. Like right now, we're looking outside. We can ask them, would you think it's sunny? Do you think it's cold? Do you think it's hot? Do you think it's going to rain? Also, ask questions as what is the difference between night and day? Also, encourage children to smell, to touch, to look, to listen, and ask questions. Look at and talk about animals, nature, plants, or people. Also, take a free trip to the park, to a community garden, or a school science fair. All these ideas here and tips are just to discover science, and many of these things we're actually able to be able to do at home or even at the surrounding of our home. And then also encourage a love for science. Don't be intimidated. Even if science wasn't your favorite subject, you can use your child's natural curiosity and interest to grow a passion for science. Science is all around us, in our food, in our play, in transportation, in the weather, and much more. One thing, why is science important? Almost all young children do science most of the time. For example, playing catch teaches about physics, gravity and force, cause and effect. Also, children form language and literacy skills by talking and listening to others. Through trial and error, children's patience and determination grow, which teaches them to keep trying. Also, lastly, science helps children to think critically, which helps children be successful at home and school. I really hope you guys take time and read this handout. It gives you awesome tips. And what we have here is for our family well-being, children and mental health. Is this just a stage? This can be like a touchy topic, but it's always important to talk about it. And most importantly, if you have any questions, concerns, you can always ask us for feedback or ask us for support. We're here for you. Like we are a teacher, we're also your family development worker, so we're here to help you in both ways. Children and mental health. Is this just a stage? Is our children just going through a stage, or is this something that we need to look into? Points to remember. I'm just going to go over it briefly. Points to remember: always seek immediate help if a child engages in unsafe behavior or talks about wanting to hurt him or herself or someone else. Also, seek help when a child's behavior or emotional difficulties last more than a few weeks and are causing problems at school, home, or with friends. When to seek help. Even under the best circumstances, it can be hard to tell the difference between challenging behavior and emotions that are consistent with typical child development. And those are cause of concern. So we want to be very mindful, pay attention to our little ones, pay attention to our children, not just our kids that are in the home-based program, but a whole family. And we want to seek help and support when in time of need, when it's needed. If a child's behavior is unsafe or a child talks about wanting to harm himself, you want to get help immediately. Like I said right now, it's very important that us as adults, as parents, we are paying attention to our little ones and giving our children the support and the help they need. This one gives you great. It gives you find ways to find answers. It gives you first steps for parents. It gives you websites, how to choose a mental health professional, and also addressing disorders that affect children. It gives you a lot of resource, and I hope you guys do take time and read things. Read them along with your significant other, or if you know someone that might need this support, you can pass along this information. And then also, if you have any questions, you can always ask your home visitor or myself, Ms. Cindy Renteria. I'm more than happy to guide you, to help you. And I hope you find all this information great. Also, I wanted to bring up that we are going to be having our socialization May 7th. The Children's Museum will be with us. Yay! I'm excited for that. I hope that you guys can join us. It will be May 7 at 9 p.m. Your home visitor will send you your link for our Zoom. We love to see our kids and yourselves, moms and dads, participate in our Zoom. Also, it's a really neat activity that we're doing this week. And then we also have our parent meeting coming up, and we have lastly, and this is going to be our last parent meeting and our last two socialization and transition. So we're excited. We are already closing up our school year, and you guys have been tremendously great and awesome. You guys have really proved that you guys are doing awesome, great. Our little ones are growing, are learning. They're pretty much ready to transition into Head Start. Of course, it's a bittersweet moment, but we're all more excited that we're moving forward in this. Thank you once again for joining me, for being here, and I will see you guys next week.